What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph. You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of reactions, reviews, and rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Biohazard. Yes, indeed. How about that? Biohazard making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Frank Canini, and Frank wanted to see me react to this song by Biohazard called Punishment.
No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Hollow ZNT, okay? And the video has 51,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Biohazard, Punishment, live at Full Force 2008, official HD version. I mean, the word official is there, so, wah.
Damn it.
I mean, the word official is there. It doesn't say official live video or official music video or official audio, official HD version. But it wasn't even posted up on their channel. I don't know. I don't know how much of a factor this is going to come into play, but it is there, so it's definitely worth noticing. I guess we'll have to just wait and see how this plays out. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Motherfucker! We waited fucking 15 years for this fucking reunion. Thanks for fucking coming to our welcome home party.
The reunion? Did they break up or something? Vince. Oh my God, they're using a sound clip from, So, there was a movie made for The Punisher, I believe it was in the early 90s, starring Dolph Lundgren. It was, oof. It was pretty bad. It was not a great movie, but I recognized that line. Where is justice? Where is punishment? God. Oh, wow. That, man, okay, look, you gotta give props. You gotta give props to these guys for finding, number one, finding the movie. Number two, for the song named Punishment, it's a great call. Take a line from that movie. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. There's a lot of things about this that I like. And there's a couple of things about this that I don't normally like, but it's, for some reason, it's working here. Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. I love the guitar tone on this. The guitar tones, the dual guitar tones, distortion levels are just slightly different, just enough so that the two don't sound exactly alike. But they're very similar. But there is still that distinction between the two to give it that extra heavy, extra thick, extra crunchy tone. I love it. I absolutely love their tones. I can hear bass coming through. Nice attacks. It's got enough high end that the attacks are very clearly being played. Could be a little more bottom end, if I'm being honest. It could be a little thicker on the bottom end, but it sounds good. It sounds really good. You're getting the attacks. That's the most important part. So no issues there. The drumming sounds really good. No issues with anything he's doing. Some nice fills, some nice setups, some nice transitions. So I got no issue with anything the drummer's doing. Vocally, I'm not going to lie, folks. The vocals are not impressive. Okay, I'm sorry. They're not. But what they are doing vocally, the vocalizations that they're doing, fits the mood and tone and direction of the song. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not upset with it. I'm just not going to sit here and pretend like I'm impressed by it, because I'm not. The things they're really kind of catching my attention. The speeding up and the slowing down in the tempo. I'm not talking about the change in feel. No, that's obvious. We've had, halftime, a lot of halftime. We've had some straight time. We've had some double time. And the funny thing is, with the halftime, we've had both snare on 3 and snare on 1. So there are times where the snare comes in on the downbeat of 1, and then again on the downbeat of 1, and then again on the downbeat of 1. And then we've also had snare on 3. And we wait, 3, wait, 3, wait, 3. We've had both, and I like it. I like that play with the halftime feel. Let's play from both sides. As far as the tempo change, here's where I usually am not a fan, but for some reason in this song it's working for him. The speeding up and slowing down of tempo, actual tempo. I'm not usually the biggest fan of that, but it's working here. And I think the reason it's working is they're using it as a transition. So when we're going to come back around again, they slow it down. And then when the song's ready to ramp up, they speed it up. And then from that point on, we coast until we're ready to come back around again, at which point, to signify and signal that we're coming back around again, they bring the tempo back down again. Only for a few measures. It's only for like I think it's about 8 measures I think they do it for, and then they bring it back up again. Now, the good news is they're not doing it so quickly that it's pointless. You know, I can't stand it when bands slow down the tempo for like 2 measures and then they speed it up again. I can't stand that. But that's not the case here. It's about 8 measures, which gives listeners a chance to find the new tempo, get into the new tempo and enjoy it before they speed things back up again. So I got no problem with it. It's funny that, you know, they're making it work for them as well as they are. Good on them. Good on them for making it happen. They said at the beginning this was their reunion. So did these guys split up and this is their first show back together? I gotta say, for a band that's been broken up, I don't know how long they were broken up for. They may have been broken up for a year. They might have been broken up for 10 years. I have no idea. But for a band that broke up and this is their reunion show, I gotta say, it doesn't sound like they broke up. They sound tight. So good on them. Good on them for that. Let's finish this out and we'll get to the review. Ending on that double time. Nice.
Thank you very much.
Good job ending on the double time. That was a nice little accent. I mean, like I said, I'm not blown away by this. I'm not, but I'm not really impressed by anything. But at the same time, I am not hating it. There's nothing about this that I'm hating. Even the things that I normally hate, they're making it work for them. So that's interesting. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Biohazard with Punishment. This was a request from Frank Canini. Okay. I got a score and I don't think Biohazard fans are going to be too upset with the score. I don't really see any reason for it, but I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how the comments go. Let's start with the score and we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that overall presentation a 7.6. Yep, 7.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.6. What does that mean? Well, a 7.6 would translate to a really good scale rating because overall, I think this was a really good presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and a B as in boy, B plus letter grade. Yeah, a B plus. So there you go, a 7.6, really good scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B as in boy, B plus letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. There was absolutely nothing about this that impressed me. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, there's absolutely no way this was gonna end up in the 9s. Everything that they were playing was pretty simplistic. Okay, the only thing that was a little on the fancier side was the drumming. The drummer did have some really nice fills, some really nice transitions that kind of made me, not totally, but kind of made me do a double take and go, oh, okay, he threw that in there, all right. But for the most part, his patterns were very simple. I mean, very easy to replicate, very easy to follow up with, and they're honestly, they're the type of grooves that you hear a lot of other bands do. So it's not like he did anything mind-blowing, okay? But he still did some fine drumming work, regardless. As far as guitar and bass go, I mean, again, very simplistic stuff, very easy to follow, very easy to emulate. It's not difficult at all. It's very easy stuff, but it sounds good. It sounds solid. Everything that they played was played cleanly, and it really allowed more than what they were playing, but more than that, they allowed their tones to do the work for them. That really thick, crunchy guitar tone filling out that sound, and every time they would start chunking, you heard the accents, you heard the attacks clear as day. And I think part of the reason for that is because they had similar distortion patches, the two guitar players. Very similar, but not exact. They were a little bit off-key from each other, just enough to make it very clear that there were two guitars. I love it when guitar players, like when there's bands that have two guitar players and they both use the exact same settings on the exact same equipment, and they somehow expect their sound to be separated. You gotta be kidding me. Look, if you're both playing through line 6 heads, if you're both playing through 4x10 cabinets, if you're both playing the exact same model of guitar, using the exact same gauge of strings, you're going through and utilizing the exact same settings on your distortion patches, how in the world do you expect your two tones to be differentiated? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just not going to happen. That wasn't the case here. There was just enough of a difference in their guitar tones that you could clearly hear two different guitars, and I love that. It's like Glenn and KK. You know, you have two guitar players, similar in tone, but just enough difference to make the two sound different, but yet work together. I love that. I absolutely love that. The bass, I love the fact that you could hear the attacks clear as day. I love that. I really wish there was a little more bottom end. The bottom end was kind of missing in there. Now, there's a number of reasons for that. Getting bottom end in a live setting is not always easy, especially when you're playing outdoors. The bottom end just gets sucked into the vacuum that is, you know, outdoor playing. And that's unfortunate, but there are ways to mix your bass to get a full sound. You have to really crank the low end. You really do. But you also at the same time have to balance it out with your mids and with your highs. Doesn't hurt to get a little bit of a punch in there too. So work with your gain as well, and your frequency. But I mean, it's not impossible. It just, you have to know what you're doing. I really wish we could have gotten a little more low end out of the bass. But more importantly, though, we did get the attacks. We did get the attacks, and we did get the accents every single time. So I mean, like I said, I wish we got a little more bottom end, but we're okay because I could hear the bass in the attack, so we're good. Vocally, nothing impressive about the vocals. Let's be honest. The vocals were probably the least impressive thing about this entire performance, but they fit. They absolutely fit the mood and tone and style and direction of the song. Their vocals fit like a glove, so I'm not mad at them. I love to play with feel. I do, playing around with halftime. Two different types of halftime. Snare on 1 and also snare on 3. We had that little bit of a difference in there. Straight time was straight time. Double time, we had the snare on the downbeats. You know, it was, those two were pretty much set in stone. But it was really interesting to hear the halftime playing around with snare placement the way that it did. I was a little surprised by the changing in tempo. So I'm not usually the biggest fan of it. You know, when you change tempo, I'm not, you know, it's quite often when bands change tempo, they do it for either too short, which is usually the case, in which one I'm really upset by it. I'm like, what's the point? If you're only gonna change tempo for 2 measures, why bother? You know? That wasn't the case here. When they would change tempo, there was a reason for it. It was to bring it all back around to the beginning again. You know, we're gonna come back to this section and we're gonna drop the tempo. We're gonna stay here for 8 measures, and then we're gonna bring it back up. We're gonna have that accelerando where it comes up and comes up and comes up and comes up, and now we're back to where we were. I thought that was really smart. I appreciate what they were doing there and how they did it. It was very effective, and I have no complaints about it at all. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too short. It was just the right amount. Like I said, normally I'm not the biggest fan of it, but in this case, they made it work. So I'm not mad at it at all. I would give the song, honestly, I would give the song on its own about a 7.2. That sounds about right. 7.2, maybe 7.3, but I'm really leaning more towards that 7.2 range. But I'm giving this a 7.6. What happened there? Well, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you already know what I'm gonna say. So say it with me, kids.
Say it out one time.
A live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. And in this case, it helped. It helped a little bit. Let's go on the checklist. Let's see how many check boxes they got. Stage presence. I mean, yeah, I'll give it to them. They definitely acted like performers. I will definitely say they acted like performers. Did they look like performers? Not really. They actually looked more like roadies than they did performers. But, you know, here's the thing, though. Across the board, they all looked very similar. So, I don't know if I would go as far as to call those uniforms, but I mean, they definitely had a unified look to them. So, they did kind of give off roadie vibes, but like I said, though, they acted like performers. So, I'll give them the check for that. Stage energy, yeah, check, quite a bit. Whenever it was the bassist who I believe is the lead vocalist, but the vocal responsibilities were shared across the board. So, but it looked like he was kind of leading the charge. But whenever he was not on the mic and the guitar player over on stage right was taking the lead vocal, he got away from the mic and he moved around, and then he would come right back to the mic to catch his vocal work again. Same thing for the guitar player over on stage right, and then the guitar player over on stage left. He wasn't on the mic a whole lot. When he was, he did his part, but as soon as he was done, he got away from the mic and moved around, creating that energy, kinetic energy. It needs it. Live shows need that, and we got it. So, absolutely getting the check. Stage interaction. Okay, believe it or not, that's getting the check. There were a couple of moments where either the guitar player over on stage left would come over to the center mic with the lead vocalist, or the lead vocalist would go over to the guitar player over on stage right, and they would share a mic. You know, there was quite often some mic sharing going on. I like that. I appreciate it, and it again demonstrates stage interaction. So I'll take it. So that gets a check. Crowd interaction at the beginning of the song, leading the charge with the haze, the lead vocalist, the bass player. He was taking the time to do that, and that is absolutely the definition of crowd interaction. So that gets a check. Wish we had a little bit more, if I'm being honest, like in other places throughout the song. Come back to doing that maybe, but hey, at least we got it at the beginning, so I'll give it a check. Showmanship. Not really. I don't really see these guys as being much of a showmanship band. So, well, wait a minute. Hold on. There was, okay, guitar player over on stage left was whirlwinding. He was spinning around with his guitar while he was playing, doing the Scott Ian So yeah, okay. You know what? I'll give it to him. It's not the strongest check in the world, but it's getting a check there for sure. Production? Nah, there was none. I mean, I saw lights going, but the lighting really was a kind of a non-factor. It wasn't dark enough for the lights to be a factor. It looks like they were playing it around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the evening. It was dusk. It wasn't quite dark yet. So the lighting really didn't have all that much of an impact. And I honestly, I don't think the lighting really did anything for it. Oh, wait, hold on. They had that intro track. And by the way, shout out to them with that deep dive, finding that movie, that the very first Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren. Man, that movie, can we be honest, folks? That movie was awful. I mean, it was a good way to introduce the Punisher, I guess, but I mean, they just made the Punisher so broody and so, you know, like emo. And I remember Dolph Lundgren having that awful dye job, not just on his hair. I mean, that was really bad, but they also dyed his facial hair to give him that, 5 o'clock shadow look. It was, they just made him look too emo. They made him act too emo. I thought the Punisher, the second Punisher movie that they did, was way better, and Punisher Warzone also was better as well. Obviously, the Punisher series on Netflix, now on Disney Plus. I thought that was the best Punisher ever. I'm sorry, I know I might stay on that hill, but John Bernthal, I thought, absolutely encapsulated Frank Castle without question. But that very first Punisher movie, yeah, oh boy. I mean, it had its moments, but it just, I'm sorry, Frank Castle was never that mopey. I'm sorry, he was never that brooding, depressed, type of guy. But I mean, they did what they could, I guess. But for Biohazard to go find that movie and utilize that clip as the introduction for this song in this live setting, I think it was perfect. I'm curious, do they have that clip in the studio recording? Because if they do, that's bonus points. No, but that is production. It is definitely productions. They threw it in there. Didn't have to, but they absolutely did. So that is production. It gets the check. This is how I'm coming up from a 7.2 up to a 7.6. Yeah, that feels right. That absolutely feels right. So we're going to stick with that 7.6, and let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.6, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B as in boy, B+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.